All right, folks, good evening. Another Friday here. Welcome one and all to the Journalist Hangout from here. And today on the program, Governor Sanwo-Olu names policemen who brutalized #EndSARS protesters, orders investigation on BRT bus involved in attack on protesters. And later on, we'll share this with you. Writers mourn death of J.P. Clark, Nigeria's world-class poet, dramatist, and essayist. But let me tell you, I'm hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, the man they know as BKO, a better BKO today.
Yeah, good to be here today. At least I didn't have to wait through traffic.
But you need this thing once a while.
Well, I don't need backache all the time.
We'll talk about that. But let's report that we have Mayor Akikpelu on Skype. Mayor, I greet you. How do you do? Mayor, are you there? Can you hear me? All right, we'll team up with Mayor. So now you see the team is ready. I hope you are. Now, an ever-willing Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State has taken the bull by the horns, as they say. He has identified and therefore named the 4 policemen who assaulted #EndSARS protesters yesterday, well, earlier in the week. The offending cops, 4 of them, are Bago Michael, Ekpodom Michael, Nnamdi Majura, and Akeyemi Benson. The 4 are to face orderly room trial immediately. Again, a provoking BRT bus known to have conveyed hoodlums who were reported to have violently attacked EndSARS agitators is to be fished out and adequately sanctioned. There are many instances of police recklessness and abuse of the youth in Nigeria. Before we go into the discussion, let's show you an example. Come with us.
What is your problem?
I work with the magistrate. She's my mother. He said he will shoot me.
And so does what?
I didn't see him. He said he will shoot me.
And the other day shoot you. What is going to happen?
Look at my
Would
ID
you
card.
die and go?
Look at my ID card. I know you, sir.
I know you, sir. What do you know here? Look at this fool.
What will happen is that
you're saying you will shoot him. I shouldn't record you. When you say you will shoot him.
he will shoot me.
When I'm telling you I have a baby in the car, you say you will shoot.
Well, pictures don't tell lies, Jide. But first, let me establish that Mayor is in tandem. Mayor, I greet you. Are you there now?
Yes, I'm here.
Welcome.
How are you?
I'm fine, and you? Okay, so
praise God.
Yeah, pictures don't tell lies. All week we had discussed the EndSARS thing.
Yes.
Let's take it a notch higher. The governor seems to be in the thick of things. This might be a defining moment for us.
It should be. It should be. Someone said something to me that, look, a policeman looking straight into the face of a motorist or just a bystander can no longer say, if I kill you, nothing will happen. Because they always say that. You heard what that guy said. He was reporting a policeman who threatened to shoot him. He was reporting him to another policeman right there. And he said, he said, look, he said he will kill me. He said, yes. If he shoots you, won't you die? Which is a way of saying that what his colleague said, his colleague who threatened to shoot to kill, what he said, in his view, was not wrong. And they went about what they were doing. It's the thorough lack of respect for people that the police shows. Elsewhere you see the police showing respect, total respect. But our policemen believe that they have power over life. And that is why we have this intractable protest. Because people want this matter to be settled once and for all.
Yeah.
They want a police that will not be taking people's lives as if human beings are dogs. So this is the thing. If you see people showing so much anger, a good number of them have experienced harassment in the hands of policemen who sometimes are even going around with POS.
Do you know,
POS machines.
sometimes you fight very hard to believe if that is necessarily true.
How can you say, the truth is, even the police set up a unit where people can lodge complaints. And it is on record that policemen have been arrested after
On account of this?
on account of dragging people to ATM point
ATM
and forcing them to transfer money into their accounts.
Oh, wow.
They've been arrested. The police, one thing you must give the police is they always like to punish their own people. I wish other professional groups in Nigeria are very proactive about punishing their people. You know? So this is the thing.
Okay.
They do it. It's not something that I invented. Do your investigation. They do it. They take people to ATM points and force them.
I've heard it a number of times.
Yes.
Again,
I hope it doesn't happen to you.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Especially on the day when you don't have so much money.
No, not after. Come on, Jide, come on. All right, we'll cross over to Mayor now. But Mayor, let's share a footage with you. Mr. Governor Sanwo-Olu is naming the offending officers. Please watch on.
Also to mention that Lagos State is taking the issue of police misconduct very, very seriously. Earlier this week, we all recorded an incident that happened at the Area C Command in Sanwo-Olu. All the 4 erring officers, whose names I will also mention, have also been apprehended, and they are going through an orderly room trial. It's currently being conducted on them. They are Inspector Bogu Michael, Inspector Podom Etop, Sergeant Namdi Majura, Sergeant Akinyele Benson. All the 4 officers have been identified, and like I said, they are going through an orderly room.
Yeah, Mayor, 4 officers. There are folks who are saying there should be more than 4. But for us here, we have arrested 4. Let's start from here, right?
I think the 4 officers are the ones that were involved in the particular incident that happened in Sanwo-Olu. And let me say that I'm very proud of the governor. It seems that it seems he's on top of his job when it comes to crisis management. If you remember that during the COVID-19 pandemic, he showed leadership, and he seems to be on top of it. And the same thing is happening now. He has met with the protesters. He has worked with them. He engaged them. He took their 5-point demands to the president in Abuja. And I think I'm very proud of what he's doing. It shows the kind of leadership that others should learn from. And this is particularly heartwarming because part of the problem is that though the police hierarchy try to discipline their own when they misbehave, but when it comes to this discipline that we are talking about, they try to shield them as much as possible. But for the governor to name and shame those who are involved and confirm that they are going through disciplinary procedure within the police force is something that is very heartwarming.
Orderly room trial, they call it.
So I think it's a very nice thing for the governor to do. That's the best way to go because you see, people are hungry. They want action, and one of their demands is that they want people to be seen to be disciplined, erring officers to be disciplined. So to name them and to confirm that they are going through disciplinary procedure is something that is heartwarming.
By the way, please let me know or confirm this. I hear your Ikorodu is going to experience a 3-day protest, right? Wrong?
You see, the
beginning from
protest is
today.
everywhere. The protest is everywhere. You know, because Ikorodu is an hotspot because when they cleared some areas in Ojota, K2 axis, a lot of them moved to Ikorodu. So there are a lot of hotels in Ikorodu and a lot of young people in Ikorodu. So I'm not surprised that there's protests everywhere. It's not only in Ikorodu. It's in Ajansis, it's in Lausa.
Okay.
So it's everywhere. So
Okay.
I think if it happens in Ikorodu, I won't be too surprised.
All right then. Now, Jide, let's expand the discussion. Governors have faulted the dissolution of Sars and replacement with what we have as SWOT, but they want the IG to halt the action on the new unit until after consultation with stakeholders.
That's their suggestion, but it is not far away from what these protesters have demanded, that these SARS members, I think the feeling that people have is that they will simply take people from SARS, to bring people from SARS into SWAT. And you can remember, I'm sure you remember the statement made by the governor of Sokoto State, who said that SWAT is just SARS in another
By other means.
yes, in another bottle or something. So I think that's the feeling that many people have. What people want to see is the group that will replace SARS should not, the people on that group should be above board. They should be people that we are proud of, we are sure will not lead us into
more temptation.
into what we are going through now.
Yeah.
You know, because people can say what they like, but if a member of your family was felled by bullets from the gun of a SARS operative, you will not protest. You will not see anything wrong about the protest. So the people, a lot of people who have not been affected, they are saying all kinds of things about these people. But don't forget, a lot of these people have been pushed to the wall. And governors are in charge of their states. So they do not want this kind of escalation, this kind of problem to continue. So that's why they want a situation in which, yes, we have SWAT, but they will be totally different to what we have currently. And that's why many people want to see the police completely reformed. Many people are not convinced that from within the police, you can find people who will be markedly different, you know, who will be sufficiently different to the current people
what we have
at SARS. So that's the way many of the governors...
You are not saying this with prejudice to a few good officers and men.
There are, you see, even when people like Governor Lalong give us, make it look like SARS is the nicest thing since sliced bread, we know that they are just simply exaggerating things. A lot of people are trying to turn this into a north-south thing, you know. Needlessly, shamelessly. We cannot politicize everything. I've seen some comments by people. In fact, someone posted some to me, and he said the person was a professor of law. That somebody is a professor of law does not mean he cannot be influenced by prejudices. We are used to them. But the truth is, we need a police that truly respects the people. Because you are servants of the people. You must respect the people. You can't be telling people that you will blow their heads, and if I blow your head, nothing will happen. And then somebody who is senior to that person gets told that, look, hear what your colleague said. I work with a magistrate. This is my ID card. Yeah, but he says he's going to shoot me. Yeah, if he shoots you, won't you die? I mean, where else do you have that kind of police? That is what people want addressed. And a lot of these governors, since they've been told now to go and interface with protesters in their states. By the way, while Lalong was saying all that, they were protesting in his state. And the question to ask Lalong and others is, if SARS is so eminently fantastic in northern Nigeria, in some states in the north, why do we have so much kidnapping?
And brigandage.
Go and check police records. There's far more kidnapping in northern Nigeria than the south. If they are so fantastic at their work, why is there so much banditry? Why do we have to bring in the military?
Yeah.
Someone told me, I think it was even Governor Lalong again, who said the governor of Niger State wants SARS in his state. Niger State and Kaduna State are the worst affected by banditry in our country.
As we speak.
As we speak, yes.
Yeah.
Based on statistics that none of those governors can fault. So if Niger State, in fact, a huge swath, a huge part of Niger is firmly in the control of bandits. All of this Rafi local government, Shiroro area, bandits are in control.
Not to mention Benue State.
You know? So this is what we are talking about.
Yeah.
You make us, you're saying, oh, you want SARS. Oh, SARS, they are so good. How come in your state is so poorly protected? The people are being abducted routinely. You are unable to do anything about it.
Are we saying the governor here is wrongly advised by his handlers?
Or he wrongly advised himself?
Or something. Well, Mayor, the National Economic Council has urged state governors to supervise police tactical units and has directed them to establish panels of inquiry. Can we trust this to happen, to be effective?
Yes, I think we can. I think we can, because when you dissolve SARS as it is, you need a unit that will do the job of SARS, because armed robbers will continue to operate, kidnappers will continue to operate, those involved in violent crime will continue to operate. So you need a unit that will confront them while you are trying to put together SARS. I think that is one of the reasons why the Inspector General announced SWAT, which was a mistake. He should have waited. What he should have done is what NEC is saying governors should do. Try to look for other units, other tactical units within the command that could fill in and do the job of confronting violent crimes. So I think the governors should do that, and they should do it quickly, because if they don't do that, they will allow that vacuum to be exploited by armed robbers and those involved in violent crime. And then, but the most important one is for every state to put in a committee that will do proper inquiry of what is going on. Those that have been affected by these activities of SARS, how they could be compensated, how we could put structures in place that will not allow them to do things like that, how we can orientate those who are involved in policing so that there can be a proper relationship between the people and those who are supposed to protect them. And I think Governor Sanwo-Olu is already doing that, because he has already put a committee in place to do that investigation. And he has already also earmarked 200 million as compensation for those who are involved in this SARS thing. So I think that is the way to go. And Lagos State has already started that one. Other states should do that, so that we know that people who have been at the back end of activities of SARS can seek for compensation, and then there could be investigation of those, so that all the officers involved will be brought to book.
All right, then, Judy, most times or all the time we talk about state governors as chief security officers of their different states. This is the time to prove it.
Yes, and I think that it is clear now that extraordinary situations require extraordinary tact, you know. Now, what the National Economic Council has done is to put the power to quell this unrest firmly at the door of governors. In your state, go and interface with these people. Every state has its peculiar problems. People say that, yes, SARS harassment of people is not so much in the north, in the north like it is in the south. I agree. Just as there are far more checkpoints in southern Nigeria than in northern Nigeria.
Yeah.
You know, especially in the southeast area. Checkpoints everywhere where the police and the soldiers make a fortune. Yes, that's a fact. There are some peculiar realities that we must admit. So now the governors would then set up panels, independent panels in their states, headed by a retired high court judge, with representatives of the youth, this civil society, you know, the representative of the Attorney General, and then we can look at cases of human rights abuses. Already, Lagos...
If this will not be abused.
No, of course, with the kind of people that they will put on the board, on the panel, they should be able to determine genuine cases. You know? And Lagos has something like that, the Office of Public Defender, for example. This is just something similar to that. So the Office of Public Defender, their work is not going to be so different to the job that governors have now been given. So they will determine those who deserve compensation or other remedial measures that can be taken, so that the concern of these young people, because the truth is, these young people, they believe that the older generation wants to bequeath to them a Nigeria that they have thoroughly destroyed. And they don't want that. That is what I saw.
I don't want it.
I saw a child who told the mom that, look, you are saying that I'm going to send money to protesters. The boy is based in Canada. He said, I'm going to send money to protesters. He said, why? He said, even you, my mom, you are oppressed. So the mom said, well, how do you mean? He said, if Nigeria was such a good place, would you be spending your fortune sending me abroad to school? The sort of country where I can achieve all of my aims, all of my aspirations, is what we want. And because this is a 19-year-old...
It is possible.
19-year-old boy. So the mom was, come on. These are young people between 19 to 25 years. They are smart, they are inventive, they think fast. So they are already imagining a Nigeria that is much better than what we have now.
Because it is possible
It's
today.
possible.
It is possible.
It's possible. We don't want this protest to go on. I believe that they've made their point. As I said yesterday, what the government needs to continue to do now is to build the confidence that these young people have lost in our leaders. So build the confidence with every step that you take. Build that confidence. Let them realize that, look, they've come up. The president described the agitation as genuine. I heard him clearly. He described it as genuine. So who is that sycophant who stand on the rooftop and be saying that, oh, what these guys are doing is wrong? The president said the agitations are genuine because he too was embarrassed by some of the videos that he saw of police brutalizing people. But this can't go on forever.
It cannot.
The point has to be made to these young people that, look, there are people there are people in ambulances being taken to hospitals. They need Medicare urgently. And they are being forced to go through alternative routes
and so on
that could take them so long to get to their destination, and some of them may just die. So, yes, no one is saying that you have no right to protest. But at some point, especially when you've made your point, and you can see steps being taken, then you've got to say, okay, let us pack it in.
Mayor, you know, the IG, the chief of police, is warning his officers and men to be careful while bearing arms. While you consider that, let's look at this issue of your governor, my governor, being chief security officers in their states and being able to tell the commissioner of police what to do when you have things like this.
I think the governor being the chief security officer is a fallacy. It is because there is a crisis now, and they need to solve the problem, and they need the governors. That's why they are saying the governors are the chief security officers. We know that they are not. You know, because of the unitary style of command in the police force, the commissioner of police in Lagos says it's answerable to the inspector general of police. If the governor of Lagos State gives the commissioner a directive and the inspector general of police give a counter directive, the commissioner will honor the one from the inspector general of police. That is the reality. But right now, only the governors can solve the problem, because the IG cannot. They are, because the people, the youth have surprised everybody. Though I think that they have made their points and they've achieved practically almost everything that they wanted. What I think they should do is to get. Okay, they don't have clear leaders, but there are some people who formulated the 5 policies that they wanted. They should get some people to interface with government to be able to see that those things that they demanded and that be accepted by government, that those things are implemented. So when they do that, it's now time for them to go home, because it is not good for them. When you block, before I came on here, I read somewhere that they block the Tomiland Bridge. I read that they block Lekki. You cannot be doing what you are accusing Sars of doing, which is impunity. They've made their point. I think it's justifiable for what they have done, but I think the youths have made their point. It is time for them to allow government to execute those things that have been agreed with them. But the Inspector General Police has not. The police cannot afford to do anything contrary to what the Inspector General Police have had, because they needed to diffuse tension. And if you shoot, you will increase the problem. So now is the time for everybody to be patient and try to reason with these young people to say, look, we have made your point. We have listened to you. We have agreed to what we are going to do. Give us time to do those things.
All right, then we'll go on a break. But don't forget, we have 2 stories to share with you. The big one, the bigger of the 2, is what's currently going on. So let's take this break, come back, take it home, and then move to our next story. Please stay. All right, then, we'll keep it going. Jide, our brother Mayor just talked about people interfacing on behalf of the youths. And so you think they want something like that?
That's not what they want. I've said from the beginning that this whole protest, in terms of execution, in terms of even conception, is so similar to what you have in Hong Kong, where the people have organized their own form of resistance and sit-ins, protests for 1 year, 6 months. There is no distinct leader, no leader at all. So who do you then interface with? The feeling is that the leaders, if a leader is identified, the leader could be bought over, the leader could be arrested, which will paralyze the struggle. So in this case, there is no distinct leader. No distinct leader. So who do you deal with? When they wanted Sanwo-Olu to take their demands to the president, they went in a wave as a group.
A block, yeah.
Yes, they went to the governor's office and then presented their demands to the governor, who promised to convey their message to Mr. President, and he did that.
Which underscores the fact that it was clearly planned.
Yes, but there is no leader. That's the way they want it to be, and no one. I've seen, at least I've been following them on Twitter, I've seen one of them that some people tried to hold up as a leader, and he said, no, please, don't make me a leader. I'm not interested in being a leader. So, and I think to a large extent to the fact that they see themselves purely as Nigerian youths, not Igbo, not Hausa, not Yoruba, also gave them some level of credibility.
Basically Nigerians.
Yeah, just Nigerians, Nigerian young people. So they don't want the politicians to hijack them. And they've succeeded in shutting out the politicians so far. And even the source of funding, you know, if it was politicians giving them money, we will have seen them quarreling over sharing of money and all that, as we sometimes see. But that's not happening. They are contributing money on their own, and the money is used to buy medicines. The money is used to organize ambulances. The money is, used to buy food pepper soup, and other things.
Drinks, cold drinks and so on.
That people consume at those
by the way, Sowore was in the picture for a while, and so how do you paint the picture?
Because he's a popular figure. They don't want a popular figure who will be seen as the face of the struggle.
Okay.
So the moment Sowore was with them from the beginning, but they began to detach themselves from him systematically. And it came to a head in Abuja when Sowore joined the rally. And they told him, we don't want you. Go away. Go and support us via Twitter. Don't come and do any rally with us. So that was how they hissed him out of the group. So they don't want, and don't forget, Sowore also set up a political group. He set up a political party, AAC. They don't want anything to do with politics. Because the funding that they need, they know that it will come when people can see that they are not leaning towards any group. This is how I see what is going on.
Okay.
But in spite of all that, I will repeat my appeal that they've made so much gains, they've done so well. There has never been anything in Nigerian history
like this
that drew international attention like this. Not even the abduction of the Chibok girls commanded this kind of response from Twitter, even to the point that the CEO of Twitter was helping them to source for funds by way of bitcoins. So what they've done very well. And government too has handled the matter very well, maturely. I read a statement by the spokesman of the army trying to find a way to come in. The government does not need the army to come and execute a protester. We don't need them. Where we need them is in the northeast. Let them go and defeat the Boko Haram that we have not been able to defeat after all these years. That's where their expertise is needed. Soldiers are not good at quelling riots, so we don't need them.
All right.
We don't need them.
Mayor, let's go there directly. You know, the military high command has warned all subversive elements, as we speak, and troublemakers to desist. It has offered to support the civil authority in whatever capacity to maintain law and order and deal with any situation decisively. That's a good one.
I think that I may be wrong, but I think the military, the military not referring to the protesters. I think that what the military hierarchy is trying to say is that nobody within, no elements within the military should use this as an excuse for subversion, and that the military is loyal and will subdue themselves to civil authority, which means that the civilian government that is in place should be allowed to solve this problem the way they deem fit, and that some subversive elements within the military should not try to take advantage of it. That's what I think the military is saying, because when it comes to protest, there is no way the military can handle a protest. In fact, you only bring in the military when everything has gone out of hand. And in the cases where it has happened, if you remember Tenement Square, it has always ended in disaster. So there's no way the military, the police have not even done, the problem has to even to do with police. And the police have not even gotten out of this problem. So for the military to come in is a no-no. The military know that they are not even in a position to come in. So I think what the military hierarchy is trying to say is that they are trying to send a message, they're trying to pledge loyalty to civil authority, and they're trying to send a message to subversive elements within the military to say, look, don't say because of what is going on, you want to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Any subversive elements will be crushed, and our loyalty to civil authority is not in
Remains
question.
intact.
I think that is the message that the military Iraq is trying to send.
Yeah, Mayor, that's what you think, but Jide is thinking differently?
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I think. That's
the
what
press,
I said. That's what I think.
the press statement is self-explanatory. He needs to read it again.
Okay.
It's self-explanatory. They are not referring to people within the army. They are referring to unrest going on now. And that they are saying if there is a need for them to come in and help, that they would like to come and help. But we don't need them to come and help. Even in this case, the police know that this is not something to use force for. We can still appeal to these guys to go back home. They've made their point. You don't bring in the military. We are not going to press the panic button. And I believe that the president knows what he's doing. And the people around the president, they are sensible enough to know that there is no need to press the panic button at this time.
Yeah.
Because these guys are not going around killing people. So if you press the panic button, you then bring in the soldiers. Remember what the man in Sudan did. He was killing protesters.
Yeah.
He did not lose his throne.
Bashir. Yeah.
As strong as he was, he did not lose his throne in the end. And if they are taking him around the streets and people are stoning, and you know, so it should not. You can't use force in this kind of situation, because you never can tell how it will end if you attempt to use force.
Yeah.
And all the soldiers are good at is shooting to kill, but soldiers are not meant to
handle civil matters.
Yes, handle civil matters like this.
Yeah.
Even Trump was criticized for bringing in the National Guard.
Yeah.
This last time. The
Okay.
police can handle this.
Okay, now, while there is a nationwide call for the scrapping of Sars, the Borno State House of Assembly honored the OC Stars in its state for gallantry. That's very interesting, particularly interesting. Shall we show you this?
And proceed to government secondary school, DSS, Photography from 1980 to 1985. A vibrant, young, dynamic, and committed CSP Ibrahim was amid during his challenging services at the police. He served in many states and formations which include Kwara, Lagos, Niger State, Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Police Mobile Force, as well as National Assembly, Abuja. Here, where our speaker is. But for the importance attached to this, please, I want to crave the
I want to wholeheartedly, as I said earlier, to appreciate those who are behind this success. My combatant squad and the unquantifiable effort of the civilian JTF that has led to some of this success. I just want to give this appreciation to the entire men of the civilian JTF in Borno. There is no history about me that can be written without them, because they are part of my history. I really want to appreciate them, appreciate their leadership, I appreciate their combatant. They are in various locations.
Okay. Mayor, we'll take it home by going to Borno quickly. They're still the good ones.
Yes, that's why I tell people that we have to know that these people in the police or in Sars or any tactical group, they are risking their lives to protect us. So they're doing a very difficult job. Some of them, a lot of them, do things that is contrary to their oath of office or what is expected of them by their training. But there are a lot of them that are doing wonderful job. And it is important for us, when we see officers who are doing well, for us to appreciate what they are doing so that we can encourage others to want to do better. And when we see others that go out of line, they should be disciplined and made to pay for whatever they have done. So we cannot say because we want to end SARS we will not appreciate some officers who, over time, have done very well. Because, you know, Borno has always been a theater of war, and for some time now,
Yeah.
The level, the insecurity, the level of insecurity in Borno is quite high. So if we see officers who risk their lives to protect people and properties within Borno, and the Borno House of Assembly, as representative of the people, decides to honor these people, I think it is in order. I think it is in order.
Okay, then.
So that the members of SARS or disbanded SARS or members of the police force, especially those in the tactical command, will see that it is not that this NSAS is not a fight against the police, but it's against rogue officers within SARS.
Thank you very, very kindly. Let's take you back to yesterday. Motorists, and I can say yes to that, had to meander through a Lagos drainage channel to get to work. Tells you it was hectic, right? Now, still to come, we'll talk about Professor J.P. Clark, but there's something we are sharing with you now. Okay, the footage from yesterday, that's what's on your screen now.
Okay. I was on this vehicular queue yesterday.
Yeah.
And the painful thing was that after all this, and after what we put our vehicles through, we got to CMD Road and we discovered that it was
blocked.
It was blocked. This is
driving through a drainage.
Yes, that's the drainage channel. You see,
yeah,
you know that place where you have the three statues.
Three gentlemen.
Statues, yes. You know, close to the Lagos. I mean, the Central Business District. You know, so
wow.
We drove through the drainage channel to link up with vehicles going under the Otedola Bridge.
Okay, with a view to coming this way.
Yes, or go towards Baga.
Yeah.
You know, so and the boys too, they used the opportunity to make money. They were the ones who created that pathway, who alerted us to the fact that we could actually drive through that drainage channel.
Makes you wonder if a thing like this cannot go without any form of gratification being demanded.
No, but of course the boys have no work to do and all that. So any opportunity to make money, they are not forcing you. They are just begging. Oh, why don't you give us something out of the so much money that you have? Why don't you give us some?
Come on.
so that's the thing, and it reinforces the need to appeal to our young people again that a lot of people are suffering as a result of their demand, and they need to end this.
Okay.
We must also praise the police, the good ones in the police. This officer, Ibrahim Mohammed, OC Sars, in the past helped to rescue some soldiers who were kidnapped by Boko Haram.
Okay, the guy we saw in the picture.
Yes, he helped rescue soldiers who were kidnapped by Boko Haram. So, and he had taken on Boko Haram on a number of occasions. I've said before that if we provide all that the tactical units of the police mobile force, the anti-terrorism unit requires, they are going to do a good job.
Yeah.
The ones who took on terrorists along Kaduna-Abuja highway, they had APCs. This fellow too had an APC that goes around. Yes. Once you are inside that armored personnel carrier, you feel, comfortable to take on the enemy.
Yeah.
Because you know the thick armor offers protection to you. So we need to, as part of the reform of the police, provide what they need, the equipment, and then of course we need to take the welfare of the police seriously, because that had not actually been considered so important over time.
Yeah. Okay, the debate continues, but let me say, as I said yesterday, it bears repeating here, in this defining moment. As a patriot, I said yesterday, let's repeat it. As a patriot, you have no choice but stand by the country, with the country. Mr. President is doing that, and everybody else is. So this might be our finest moment yet. Okay, unarguably, Nigeria's most lyrical poet and professor of literature, John Pepe Clark Bekederemo, passed peacefully on Tuesday morning. The Kiagbodo Delta-born literary giant, a contemporary of notable writers and poets like Christopher Okigbo, Gabriel Okara, Wole Soyinka, and Chinua Achebe, to name a few, he was 85 years old. Fittingly, living poets and writers alike have paid tributes to the man who bestrode his community like a colossus. The list is near endless, and not surprisingly so. Mayor, you know, we are talking about a quartet, leaving us with only one. The quartet comprised originally Wole Soyinka, Chinua Achebe, Christopher Okigbo, and of course the gentleman who has just left. So we have Wole Soyinka standing. So we have lost an illustrious artist, right?
Yes, I think that J.P. Clark is one of the most distinguished writers that we had, particularly when you consider the fact that he used his environment and his background as an Ijaw to look at art and poetry. And when you look at his translation of the Ozidi and how it was accepted as a huge literary achievement, it shows that you can excel as a poet and as a writer without imitating the brilliance of the white man. That is one of the things that stood Chinua Achebe apart too, because when you use your culture and your immediate environment to look at art, it's something that is
it's
commendable.
original, yeah.
And he didn't have the kind of influence abroad like Wole Soyinka and Chinua Achebe, probably because of that. He did the travelogue, the America,
the America,
where
yeah.
Yes, where he wrote about everyday life in America, and a lot of critics, especially from that space, did not like it. They believed that they didn't like it. So it's not, but it was accomplished because I remember that he was a visiting professor in a lot of universities, including Yale, and I think that his position as a great African writer is assured. That is one of the reasons why we have to appreciate Wole Soyinka more, because, like you said, that's the last man standing, and we still need his wisdom and the heart, because sometimes Wole Soyinka is slightly different from J.P. Clark and Chinua Achebe, for example, because he is more when it comes to the translation of his thoughts, is more Western in orientation. Though when you look at Ake and some of the things that he did, you will know that he's also a very cultural person. But J.P. Clark is somebody that used his journeys as a weapon to translate his thoughts when it comes to drama and poetry.
Yeah, Jide, they come once in a generation, So I'm looking at that golden generation, the 20s, 30s through to 40s. That should have been the golden generation?
Yes, and I doubt if these great African writers can be replaced. They are simply phenomenal, Okigbo, Chikaya Utamsi, Kofi Awono, Dennis Brutus,
Yeah.
Alex Laguma, the South African, who wrote the book In the Fog of the Season's End. Great people, great, irreplaceable people.
Yeah.
You know, and even our own
Ngugi
Ngugi
wa
Thiong'o, the
Yeah.
author of
Africa.
Ngugi Detained.
Yeah.
You know, no, and Sembene Usman. When you read these people, every line makes sense, and you tell yourself, how come people were this brilliant? Look at
in an age that was not this sophisticated.
Yes. All of the tools were not readily available, but they made use of what they had, and they were exceptional. They were special. You know, African Writer Series. The shame that I feel, is that even the African Writer Series is no more. A lot of those companies, those printing companies that publish these great people, they are dead. They are dead. J.P. Clark was at UI as a student, and he wrote that poem, Ibadan. Running splash of rust and gold, flung and scattered among 7 hills, like a broken china in the sun.
Boy.
Very short.
Immortal lines.
Very short. You then ask yourself, is this an ode or meant to dress up Ibadan in roses? But of course, when you go to Ibadan and you see those roofs, those those aging roofs, you then tell yourself that this man saw these rusty roofs, and he was able to find the inspiration to do the short poem.
Mayor, before we go, I'm sure you remember this line. The lives of great men remind us that while blah, 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 you can make footprints on the sands of time. Yes. And those footprints are never made sitting down.
Yeah.
Mayor, thank you for your time.
Them. We simply can't forget them. You can't forget them.
So we say good night to John Pepe Clark. I hope the people
Good night to Kigbo.
Good night to
all
Kigbo,
of those great people.
To Achebe, and so on.
Sembene Usman.
And we wish Wole Soyinka Godspeed as he leaves an indelible mark, because the time is still there. Well, that's it on our program for the evening and the week. We thank you for your time. If you did miss any part of this, and you may also see the program on other platforms we are showing on the screen now, and on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. The feedback channel is still the same. On behalf of the Backroom Boys here, I'm Citizen Jones. Thank you for your time. See you next week.